Hello everyone. We are honored today to have one of the very well-known real estate agent and owner, Gina Tufano, in our office to talk to us a little bit about herself, about the market, and about her new book, which is part of her life too. So Gina, thank you very much for being here today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. You're always doing good things.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your history with the real estate you've been doing for years, and you're one of the very well-known real estate agent in the county. So tell us a little bit about yourself and where are we now and what's going on with the market.
What's going on with the market? My crystal ball doesn't work, but I'll tell you what I see happening. I've been in real estate since '96. So when my oldest son was a little baby, I had been in dental previously, and when I went back to work, I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with this, daycare ate up my entire paycheck. So then I tried to do daycare at home. I'm like, I'll just watch other people's. I needed to make money, right? I'm like, I'll watch other people's kids, and I'm not cut out for that. God bless all the people who watch a whole bunch of children, because that was very, very hard.
It's a lot of work.
So I didn't know what to do that would be flexible enough to raise my then baby, now 3, but at the time my son, and I got my real estate license, treated daycare with another mom. For about 10 years, I was a solo agent, and then I grew a team out of necessity. I just got busier and busier, and I needed help. First it was administrative, then it was more agents. And then at one point I 7th leveled, is what they call it, when I got out of sales completely and I let the team do all the sales and I managed the business. And now I'm kind of a hybrid. I miss the people. So I do some sales, some management, and I'm heavily invested in real estate myself. So I manage all my own properties too.
Can you share a little bit with us how 2024 going to look like?
What will 2024 look like? Well, the market is still a seller's market, but there's very few buyers. There's very few sellers. There's very few buyers. Sales on their own are down significantly, depending on what pocket you're looking at. It's anywhere between 10 and 30%, and that's just a function of interest rates. It has kicked some buyers out, but it has kicked more sellers out. Sellers don't want to move and give up their interest rate unless they have to. In 2024, when rates first started going up, I said it was 3 to 5 years. Most people thought it would be about a year and a half, and I didn't see it happening. The Fed is bent on lowering inflation and has made many comments that they're not going to stop raising rates until inflation gets to 2%. We're still not there. We're closer, we're a lot better, but we're still not there. And then they said when they get there to 2%, they're going to hold. They're not going to lower, and they'll hold for 18 months. So I heard that 2 years ago, and I'm like, we have 3 to 5 years. I think we'll still creep up. I know nobody wants to hear that. I think gone are the big jumps, like that crazy rise that we had. I think the big jumps are gone. I think we'll still creep up, and it really depends on what the economy does. We're starting to see layoffs. We're starting to see things that show that it's slowing across the board. So maybe it'll happen sooner, but then when we do, we'll hold. And I would love it if we'd hold in this 7 to 8 world where we are right now. I don't think we're going down anytime soon. Then that's based on what the Fed has said, we're going to hold. And so down, the interest rates and the federal interest, they're not one-on-one. The mortgage and the Federal Reserve rate, they're not equal to equal. They do go up, they're related, but they're not the same. So I think once we stop going up, I could see mortgage rates easing a little bit. Once they come down, though, which I really think is 2025, once they come down, I see prices going through the roof. The pent-up demand, the people who don't want to move right now because they don't want to give up their interest rate, but they're uncomfortable in their house. Maybe they had more children, or they're empty nesters, or they're commuting longer for work, or whatever the stress is. They've decided it's not worth the interest rate. The minute the rate starts to come down, they're going to be ready. Like, they're going to be ready to make that move and pounce on another house because the pent-up demand. So I see a little bit of 2020 happening again in 2025, 2026 with the pent-up demand. And then hopefully we even out. That would be nice. We still don't have enough houses overall for
So still the
population.
inventory.
The inventory is still low for the number of people that we have, never mind for the sales. And that's a long conversation for another day based on the population of the different demographics. You know, there's so many millennials out buying. Gen X was so small, the baby boomers was big. So now that all the millennials are coming to buy and the baby boomers aren't retiring like, you know, historically like their parents would, they're not, you know, I mean, come on, we start new careers in our 50s now. We don't think about retirement anymore.
That's very true, especially these days.
Right, you know, everyone's looking for their side hustle, their second job, their whatever, you know, what lights them up, instead of, you know, they work their whole life for the paycheck. Well, what lights you up? You finally get to a point where you want to do that. It's not just retire. People have gifts, they want to share them. So we're not seeing the people give up their houses to give houses to the millennials, and the builders were left holding the bag in the crash in '08. You know, they had all the houses, so they're not pre-building, so they had nothing extra. It'll take us a little while to catch up.
Yeah.
So that's where we are. Sorry, that was a lot.
It's okay.
This
is where it will come up to get to the point where we are here today.
Yes.
It's about this interesting book. When I saw Gina wrote this book, I was so excited I emailed her right away. I remember I emailed her the same day to bring her in and talk about gratitude gains, elevate your real estate journey. And this is what probably your passion of what you do and what you love to do.
Yes.
It led you up to here. So tell us a little bit about what it inspired you to start writing this book.
Experience. So being self-employed, you have ups and downs, right? You have to have the right mindset all the time. And I had a lot going on, and I was really struggling, and this is what changed I actually did this. Like, this turned my life around so fast. It was unbelievable. I was going through a rough patch personally, so it was affecting my business because I wasn't showing up fully. And I had found myself in credit card debt and, you know, just really kind of it wasn't what I wanted, and I didn't know how to get out of it. And I had a coach who told me to write down, keep a gratitude journal, and make it one book, and only write the things I'm grateful for in there. And the first day I'm like, all right, I guess I'm grateful for the house. Like, you know, it was hard. And every day just build on it and keep all the goodness in one spot. So I started doing that, and things started changing. Like, all of a sudden I was a happier person. I had more energy. I was exercising more. Like, things that I wasn't even trying to do.
Wow.
I was she then said, okay, now I want you to write what you're going to be grateful for next year. So write what you're grateful for now, and then write what you're grateful for next year. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. So I started writing random things, like my new kitchen, my lakefront property, like, I didn't know what I'm like, what do I really want? Like, what I'm grateful for, my book. This is long before anything came out. And I went back and looked during COVID, and so many of those things came true without me even putting a plan in place. Wow. Because I thought about it, because I was grateful for what I had. I cherished my gifts. I was always looking for the good. I was looking for the positive energy, and that's the zone I was in. I wasn't looking for the bad. I wasn't looking for, they're both there all the time. It's not really woo-woo. It's all there. What's wrong is always available. I can come here and I can rattle off a list of 10 headaches that I have right now, but I can also rattle off a list of 10 absolutely amazing things. And which ones are you going to look at? And it's not putting your head in the sand and ignoring the things you have to deal with, but it gives you the energy to deal with it when you count your blessings. So experience is what started. And then I wanted to share this. I wanted to share this great thing with everybody, and I didn't know how to do it. And I thought I'd write a book about the experience, and it was overwhelming. It was hard, and I kept it's not here, but it's written. I'm just not quite.
We'll be looking forward for another one to come up.
It was written, but that's like a piece of my soul, you know.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, I was too fearful to share, you know, that much of me because it was so personal. So I'm like, well, what if I share the roadmap? Like, what works? What works? And how do we make it work? And so the key things in it is there's like a happiness test. It's called the gratitude gauge. And you take this test at the beginning of the book, and then every 30 days it puts the test in there again. And you rate 10 different areas of your life: your health, your finances, your productivity, your mental health, physical health, your relationships, your client base, your business. There's 10 different things, and you give yourself a score of 1 to 10, and then you do it again at 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days, and then at the end you compare your first test with your last test. And I promise you, if you are actually doing this every single day, you will be blown away with the difference at the end of 90 days. And I put that in there so it was tangible. So like the skeptical person, is this really working? Because you can't touch it otherwise, right? You could see it.
It's inside you and
Yeah.
you feel. So how long it took you to do this, to write this book?
So 6 years or 6 months, depending on how you want to look at it. I started it about 6 years ago, and it's been percolating. And I had, as I shared before we went live, I had some pieces of it already done. Like I had things written, I had a group formed, I had all these things, and I just kept thinking about it. When I finally put my head down, it was 6 months. And I did the whole thing myself, which I do not recommend. 0 out of 5 stars. That was hard. So I did all the editing, the formatting, and everything, but it took me about 6 months.
Wow. How did you come up by the title?
I like alliteration.
Okay.
Gratitude games.
Exactly.
I like the G and G. And then if you do it, you're a gratitude gangster. Because again, I like the alliteration.
So what kind of like one thing when you've been writing like did surprise you? Like when you are writing it, like you stop and you've been surprised about something that come up, any idea or anything in your mind. Like, do you remember something like it was specific and you said, "Oh gosh, that something surprised you"?
I would say the biggest surprise is how scared I was. Like that's just, I thought it was just hard. Like you just needed time, or you just needed focus, or it's scary. You need courage. You need a lot of courage. And then the whole thing was done, and it was, ready. Amazon had it. It was all there. All I had to do was hit the button. I wouldn't hit the button. I just looked at it. I'm like, nope.
What did scare you, Gina? Did you feel like you didn't want to share it with?
No, I absolutely want to share it. The inferiority complex. Who am I to share this? I'm not that great. I'm just a regular person.
It was your first book too.
Yeah.
I mean, first thing.
I'm nothing special. Like I'm a person who struggled and found something that worked, and I absolutely want to share it. Like I would tell. I'm talking your ear off now. I'm very excited and passionate about it, but who am I to do this? Like I'm I can't even. I still can't. And the first thing I say is it's not a book, it's a guided journal. Like, I want to, that is one of my things for me to work on. You know, I'm sure we could all use a little
So we can
self-love.
say that was kind of one of your challenge when you're writing it.
Not writing it. It was actually the when I realized I was just scared to put it out there. I was fear. It was like, who am I? It's sometimes hard to stand on your own 2 feet out there and just be like, this is mine. And that was my biggest surprise. Writing it wasn't terribly hard because it just came
from all your heart.
Yeah, like writing the prompts and the test, and I was super excited about all that. But formatting it was a B word. I don't know if we can curse on here, but it was bad. It was really bad.
Do you read? Do you read books?
I read a ton, yes.
Any special book you read and you want to share with us, and why?
Any special book?
Or
well,
any
the
one
one
of them? You probably have more of one, but
I read a ton.
One.
The one I just read, it's going to sound morbid. It was not. I'll give you two. I'll give you the mindless little romance series that I just read. I'll have to think about what it's called. There was 4 of them, 3 of them, 4 of them. I just finished it, but I just read a book called How Not to Die.
Oh.
I know, it's a little dark. It's all about health and wellness, though. Like what you put in your body, what you do, how to stay healthy. Yeah, and I didn't realize, like, some of it is, I've read a lot of books like this before, so a lot of it was things I know, but some things I didn't know, like the little spices, and, like I now put cinnamon on everything. You need these little micronutrients that come from all the plants or whatever, but that was a very interesting book. And then I read a series, it's like Things We Don't, Knock 'Em Out is the name of the town, and it's supposed to be in Virginia, which is really funny because there's no Knock 'Em Out, and it's down like by Manassas or something, and I'm like, you're not describing this right. But it's a fictional town called Knock 'Em Out, and it's a story of this small town, which Manassas isn't a small town either, but I had problems with all that.
Especially with Ariata.
I'm like, there's
all the areas.
Google, I'm like, where's Knock 'Em Out? Like, this doesn't exist. So that's why I can remember the name of the town. But it's just, 2 brothers and growing up together in their friend group, and they're all getting married and love stories, and it's very sappy, happy endings, a little, it's got a little suspense, a little drama. I love that. I do that, not television. That's my TV. But Knock 'Em Out. I can't remember the name of the books.
So being on the situation where you're being and you put everything in writing and you made a book, what do you, any suggestion or any advice would you give a new writer, or somebody was in your situation and they been, any advice? For a new writer, a beginner.
Take a deep breath. One of the things, so the first, because I do have the book, I haven't reread it, but it's done too. One of the things my coach told me in the beginning was write every single day. Just write every single day. And it's like, what is it? Motivation is like washing. You need to do it daily, you have to just do it every day to get better at it. It's the only way to get over if you're blocked. It's the only way to make progress. It's the only way to actually get it done. And some days it'll be amazing, it'll flow, and other days it will not, and it will be hard, and you won't know what to write about, and just start. So I have, for the book, well, even for this one, but this is easy, comparatively. For the book, you do an outline, like what you want it to look like, almost like you're in school again, right? Like how you want it to flow. And I would pick and choose. I didn't write it in order. I would pick and choose which I wanted to write about. And so that I say is ready needs to be massaged. So it's all there, all the pieces are there, but it probably doesn't flow because it was all written separately.
So are we waiting for, are we gonna have another one?
There will be another one, yes. There will be another one. I want to.
Is that going to be
not
a different focus, or
no,
it's continuing?
It's sort of the story behind this. So this has very little story.
Yeah, I can see, and it looks like it's easy also.
Yeah, it's very little story. It's a lot of.
I love that.
Guided journal. There's the test. There's a chapter in the beginning, a chapter at the end. You know, it's very easy writing. The story behind that is what is. I want to throw up even talking about it. It's so scary. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah. So where can the who is now listening to us, and also there is a lot of readers, and I'm one of them, and probably my employees
this
too.
is
Where we can get.
It's on Amazon.
It's on Amazon.
So this is geared towards real estate agents, which means it talks about clients and you know, just where you are in your business. But I have a friend's daughter who's reading it, and she subs out the word client for puppies because she works in an animal hospital. So she subs out for puppies, and she's loving it. So she keeps sending me her little entries and things like that. And so it can work for anything else. It just, I wanted to keep it specific to real estate because I feel like real estate agents have had a ride lately. You know, we all worked our butts off for 2 years without a second of a break, you know, writing contract after contract and, you know, dealing, but when you get 21 contracts, that means you have to tell 20 people no. 20 people who overbid on a house, who, you know, like.
Is that hard, Gina?
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah.
That
is that the worst?
Well, so as the listing agent, that's the worst, and as the buyer's agent, telling them they didn't get it. Hi, you went 50,000 over, you waived everything, and you still didn't get it. And then just dealing with the emotions that go through that, because these are people's houses. You're literally going to touch every single thing you own and move it from slot A to slot B. It is stressful. It is, you know, one of the biggest stresses. So you're dealing with people who are not necessarily at their best, and so it's a lot of hand holding. It's a lot of hand holding, and then add to that the agents who are, you know, having to tell 20 people, and then some people are nice about it, some are mean, some agents don't tell you that you didn't get it and you see it changed, and I mean, just the emotions, there's no, so real estate agents have had it, and then when the interest rates went up and the whole market just went, like things are still selling, don't get me wrong, it's just, there's just not as many, it's good for, you know, buyers who had been struggling for a little while, they all got their houses, and that was the nicer change.
Yeah,
you can get a home inspection now.
Last 2 years
things.
it was.
Yeah.
It was great. I mean, when the rate was low, it was great. And we saw a lot of people, you know, buying. But it's hard. I mean, what, it was like 2.5-3% interest rate. But like you said, there's always balance too. That's why.
Well, and you were giving away everything. Like to get that 2 or 3% mortgage, you probably didn't have a home inspection. You probably got a few surprises.
And people probably didn't praise their homes neither. They just want the house.
We're dealing with a seller right now who just purchased a year ago, and now he's getting relocated in a year and a half, I guess. And it's not pretty, you know. Like he's doing the math. Yeah, it appreciated a little bit, but did it appreciate for your closing costs in and your closing costs out, and the work you did to make it your home when you repainted it? And it's a different market now. So real estate's a long.
So we will say to all the real estate agent out there, get the Gina book and do the homework. That's the most important.
Do the test. So I put the test online. I took the test, and anybody can do this. I put the test online and really see where you are. So when I created the test, I shared it with a few people just to say, hey, can you just to make sure I did it right, because I'm not a total techie, you know, like to make sure it worked. And I was surprised how sad people are. Like people, I think anyone can. I did it for real estate agents because I know them, I understand them, they're my people. But honestly, swap out client for children, husband, business, whatever, your dog, puppies, right? because the people are hurting. Like, I was really surprised when the results started coming back at how low the scores were, and it made me sad.
Yeah.
It really made me sad. There's a lot of people struggling. So take the test, and you don't need to. I probably shouldn't say this. You don't need to buy the book. The test is free. It's online. I'd love it if you did buy the book.
But it is different. It is always like me personally. I always love book and on paper. That's how, and I'm gonna do that. Even I'm not on the real estate.
Yeah, change it to client, change it to your business. But do the test, and if you really do it every single day, I promise you, your score will go up so much. You'll be blown away. You won't even believe it. And then save it, and because you're just gonna go into another journal and another book and another whatever. But then go back to the original one and look at what you manifested. Look at what you, because you spent a little bit of time thinking about where you wanted to go. That's all it is. If you think about where you want to go, you'll get there.
Thank you very much, Gina. We appreciate you are here today. We are going to post the link where to get this book from. Gina, thank you for everything.
You're
and I'm
amazing.
sure we are going to do this. I'm excited to see my journey.
We started a challenge, so I will invite you to the group. There's and this is not just for real estate agents. It starts December 1st, so it's a 90-day challenge. So you get a 30-day jump start into the new year to make 2024 the best year yet. So I invite you to the challenge.
So. Yes, and I hope everyone will join too. And we will be looking forward to her next book to bring her in.
The heart.
Talk about it again. So
yes, thank you
very much, Gina.